Okay, everything's checked, my microphone is plugged in, and checked, and my face being here is pretty nicest one, isn't it? And let's do this. This phrase, let's do this, some dude said in some video shoot, let's do this to some gal. Maybe that was about something kind of like, let's get it on, you know what I'm saying? Let's get it on, gal, and don't think about anything, so just let's get it on. Let's do this. I'm not proposing here to get it on, but I'm proposing just to, why not to start this random episode of mine off tonight, and I'm warning you, beware of this, because that's gonna be probably the most random session ever, though we'll see how it goes, because I'm craving for intense speaking, and at our local venue I just made several pieces of not so fluent as always English rugged themes as I regularly do, and they kind of like partly gave me a gloomy look at me, and that thing's supposed to be in my native language, as I'm not craving to speak, which is obvious, and I'm craving to speak my second native language, which happens to be English. From the recent time, by saying recent time, I just assume several years, and maybe not several years, maybe I've always been kind of learning English related guy, and I never quitted. Actually, I suspended that thing several times throughout all my life, and I suspended that. I regret it. I'm regretting now that I suspended that English learning theme, and never regret, as they say, and now I kinda, I'm not regretting about anything that's been done in my life, and I just turn back to my English learning thing and turn it into my English learning style of my life, as I call it. And now I made myself clear that I'm just able, as I'm ruling my life, I'm able to do whatever with my English. I can rule it, control it, shape it, just to live with it, and live happily, I should say, and gaily, and I can do whatever I want with my English, and it's up for me to just advance it, or keep it, or leave it, or just dig it more deeply and learn it in a more just impeccable ways that only could be in whatever situation you might be in. It's definitely gonna be the deepest way of learning things when it goes to my English learning style, and the point of my life, I should say. And in today's venue at our regular get together, I gave several speeches in English, and that was concerning some philosophical and maybe intangible standpoints as for our being here on this planet, why we've been put on this planet for, and why the way we've been put on this planet, why that way was exactly the way it was, and why again we are all here gathered peeps, and what we are doing here, and what we are doing with our lives, for what the thing we are doing with our lives that happens the way that we are doing that thing in our lives, you know what I'm saying, and stuff and so on and so far, you know what I'm saying. And just again, I'm not just prepared at all for this arbitrary take of self-recording, and just checking my weird face happened to be on this thin screen just in front of my face. As I observe my face, I just give you another possibility to have just maybe occasional look on this channel, and just judge fairly and honestly how do you feel while watching those short session of self-recordings, which I regularly do on this channel. How that feels to you to be, not to be just speaking, but to hear this flow of my voice lays on your ears, and how that feels. I'm not just in your skin, and I kind of like regularly observe my speaking missions here by reiterating them after being recorded. On completion of current episode, I switch it off, I switch my camera off, I switch my microphone things and set up things off and stuff. And when it's switched off, I kind of reload my brain and turn it on, turn my turn my recorded session on, and I'm all just concentrated about following what's been said by me, and I again listen deeply into it, and I analyze what I said. I analyze kind of like what I missed, what I misused, what I used incorrectly, what wrong sounds I made, what right sounds I made, and stuff that parallel on that process, you know what I'm saying? And that's cool. While making mistakes, you're learning about doing it the right way, and you're just once you get familiar how to pronounce and how to do things properly, you will never do that in the wrong way, never again. Probably you would at some occasions when you're in a hurry, you are rushing things around you, and you're kind of messed up in the moment, and you can just pull out some fluent pieces out of you when you might just do your regular deep mistakes that reside deeply inside you. They're ingrained, probably those mistakes, and by meaning ingrained, I say that those mistakes were put in you by some English school teacher, and that's why they appear, those mistakes, here and there in your speech, like time by time. But you should dispel them, you should dispel them, and just feel free by letting them go, letting them go. Those things are misunderstood during your early days of learning English, and you should let them go. You should dispel them, and maybe you should also relinquish some false opinions as for learning styles, as for English and any other languages, because I don't make any differences between learning English and any other supposable language, and you should let them go, and you should relinquish all unneeded stuff, and you should go forward. And in order to move forward, you should get rid of something heavy that pushes you down and not allows you to follow your right track in your life, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I've done recently. I dispelled all bad feelings and stuff and things, you know what I'm saying? And I relinquished my false opinion, wrong standpoints, and just right now I act and I feel what I act and how I act, and for what I act, the way I act, you know what I'm saying? And that feels just great. And I tell you what, I brought you something, guys and gals, I brought you something. And before I show you what I brought you, I want to just drop some storytelling thing on this video shoot up tonight, and this stuff was depicted and pitched on some of most recent Ellen shows, and the episode was around the point that they were playing kind of game, true or false, and there was a woman sitting in the chair in front of Ellen, and Ellen was asking, and she was proposing to play a game that is called True or Lie, or probably not True or Lie thing, but maybe sincere thing or not sincere thing. And what Ellen did, she asked her, asked that person who is sitting in front of her to just be a person who speaks like an authority as for speaking about those things being asked by Alan, and what do you call that person? I forgot that word, what it was. Like what? Shame on me. I should recall it now. Pundit. Alan asked that woman to be a pundit Pandit. Alan asked that woman to be a pundit, an expert in her sphere, and to say a couple of just influential and convincing opinions about what's been mentioned by Alan. Let's say the subject was some spider with some long legs. That went as a second point, and as the first point, there was a theme connected to why one should swear or not swear, and not to swear, but why one should swear in front of some audiences, and why that would be considered as a good thing. And that woman said that swearing is a good thing because it lets off your endorphins. It lets off your endorphins, and you feel, when you swear, and you feel like something's like happening inside you, and you're just again dispelling some bad feelings, some thoughts being drilling your mind for a long while, and just by swearing you're just dispelling all this shitty stuff that resided inside you, and you just feel free and good about that. While even in the process, while that happens, you're already feeling good, and that's why swearing just being a good thing, and I partly on her side, but not completely. And the second thing, as I mentioned, was spider, long leg, spider, long leg daddy thing. Spider daddy, long leg thing. If that makes any sense for you, once again, spider daddy, long leg thing. And the woman told that once she just observed the spider that fossilized, and the thing fossilized itself, but the interesting fact about that thing was spider, the interesting fact about that spider was that its dick, its penis fossilized, and it became fossil. And not after, but that poor thing died having its dick erected, and that was pretty funny stuff she pitched in that show, and I was just familiarizing myself with the nicest fluent American pieces like fossilized, and that lets off your endorphins, and fossilized dick, and that thing died with having its dick erected. And that was pretty funny, and I grinned a lot while watching that shoot of Helen and Alan on Alan's show, on Alan's channel. Fuck, I'm stumbling on my words already, because I've been speaking for how long? Maybe 30 minutes now. I don't know. I strive to speak more, but in the absence of speakers around me, I have to have this final, not final, but this just good thing. I have to have this fluent piece of my own English language along with me. I have to have this fluent piece of my own English along with me in the absence of any other speakers around me. Maybe some Native American may have mercy on me and just drop some opinion down there in comment section down below and comment me how I'm doing my English, and how it just feels from the standpoint of outside observer, from our stranger out there, or maybe from some English-speaking rural area, maybe not so deep rural area, maybe Texas, maybe some other Native American location. If you are just from that location, you may just, if you don't do that. If you just have a couple of seconds, just comment me down below, and just give me slightest feedback how you see my endurance here, what I'm doing, and whether I'm on the right track, whether I'm on the wrong track right now, and how I'm doing my English, and how it feels from the native standpoint. The sounds I make, the flow of my language, the general mood on this channel here, and how I'm just all my attitudes, behavior lines and habits as for my English, and how it feels from your standpoint if you're a native speaker of English, especially if you're from United States of America, because I'm tending to do, and I regularly tend to do, American version of English, and I don't disregard British one, but I just don't care about British style of things, and I just don't like them. In all honesty, I can say that I don't like British style of things, and I like American style of things and how they say their things, how they do their maybe live tracks, not all complete picture, how they do their approach to the world, to the pips on the entire globe. I'm not about that at all. I'm only talking here about the fluent piece of English they make and how they do that and the way that they do that and why do they do that the way they do that and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And this shit is about reiterating itself again and again. If somebody don't stop me here, and no one can stop me of speaking my English, and that's probably finally it about tonight, and it's up for you to be just judicious while judging me how I'm doing my English, and maybe you would just turn to be so prudent, and you may judge me fairly how I'm doing, and maybe we'll be friends then. Thanks for your attention, thanks for your being on my channel, and again, participate in your own life activities, participate in my life activities by commenting me, following me, and watching me. Thanks again, that's it about tonight, and care, and see you all in a while. See you soon, bye.